If everybody sends that simple message, they'll really hear it. We want them to hear that the people of Maryland, the people of America, will not go backwards. We will not go backwards.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
It was very hard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start, but how are we going to greet everybody? The Affordable Care Act, Medicare and Medicaid, saves lives and creates jobs. Don't mess with them. I want to introduce one of my all-time heroes to start us going. This man, while in the Maryland General Assembly, fought the gun lobby, fought the tobacco lobby, fought and won for public health, and then he went to Congress where he's been fighting for the Affordable Care Act and all our programs. He's one of the real heroes, and Maryland and America are so lucky he is where he is. Senator Chris Van Hollen.
To save health care in America? Are we going to allow Donald Trump to insult people on his tweets and get away with it? No! Look, we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do together. I'm so proud of everybody who's here. I'm so grateful for all these individuals who have joined us, who Vinnie DeMarco introduced. And let's give it up for Vinnie DeMarco. Yeah. Some of my colleagues in a minute, but we're all gathered here, all of us and all of you in this room, united to send a very simple message to Donald Trump and the Republicans on Capitol Hill. We are not going to allow you to turn back the clock on progress in the United States of America. We are not going to allow you to drag us backwards. First battle. We are engaged in the very first battle of many battles to come. And that is the battle to save the Affordable Care Act and prevent our health care system from descending into chaos. Are you ready to make sure that we win this fight? Yes! Yes! We'll win this fight if Americans are united, and you're part of gatherings throughout the United States of America that are taking place today. Now in 2010, all of you did a great thing. You made it possible for many of us on your behalf in 2010 to pass the Affordable Care Act. The Affordable Care Act, as we gather here at this moment, there are 22 million of our fellow Americans who have access to Affordable Care Act who would not otherwise have had it. That is a big accomplishment. We filled a very big gap in our healthcare system. The share of Americans who are uninsured today, is much lower than at any other time in our history by far. You helped do that. Now, all of us know that we can make improvements to the Affordable Care Act. But there's one thing we also know. We are not going to let them destroy it and pretend that they've got something better to put in its place. Hell no!
Hell no! Say no! Fight 'em!
Now, I want to say to the tens of millions of Americans who are not in the Affordable Care Act exchanges and who do not get their health care through expanded Medicaid, that you too have had great benefits from the Affordable Care Act. And those tens of millions of Americans who may not think they're benefiting from the Affordable Care Act are going to be in for a very rude awakening if this goes away. And so it's our job to alert all of them about what is on the horizon and what will happen to them, including the tens of millions of Americans who get their health care the way most people do, through their employer. You know what's going to happen to those Americans? Their premiums are going to go way up, and their health protections are going to go way down. You know why? Because those Americans are benefiting from the fact that 22 million of their fellow Americans now have health insurance. They're not showing up at the last minute in the emergency rooms to get their health care. Who do you think was paying for that emergency room health care? Everybody else was paying higher premiums and higher taxes, which is why, and here's the secret that apparently no one knows, all those tens of millions of Americans who get their insurance through their employer, their premiums have gone up very, very slowly, historically slowly, since the Affordable Care Act was passed. And if you get rid of it, those premiums are going to go up, because all the people who currently get their health insurance through the Affordable Care Act, they're going to be back in the emergency room as their first line of health care. So premiums are going to go up. Patient protections are going to go down. Everybody in America now has protection against discrimination based on pre-existing conditions. They can't say no to you. They can't say no because you have asthma or diabetes, or because your child has a condition. And guess what? If you're over 18 and still younger than 26, and you're now on your parents' health care policy, they can boot you off of that policy when you get rid of the Affordable Care Act. So it is there for every single American. Seniors on Medicare, I want all of you to talk to seniors who you know. The Affordable Care Act, people don't know it. It strengthened Medicare. First of all, extended the life of the Medicare Trust Fund. It also reduced dramatically the cost of prescription drugs for seniors by closing the donut hole. If you repeal the Affordable Care Act. And they won't have access to free preventative care like cancer screenings if you get rid of the Affordable Care Act. So, saved your life. This is about saving lives, and you're going to hear some stories. So, thank you for being here to call a sham, because for 7 years, my colleagues and I have heard our Republican colleagues say they're going to repeal and replace, right? This Donald Trump says he's going to replace it with something much better. But when you ask them what it is, they can't tell you anything. Let me tell you, if you had a house, let's say you had a plumbing problem. It wasn't a perfect house. It was a house, you had a little leak in the pipes, and someone came up to you and said, you know what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you a better house. But first, we're just going to blow up your house. We're going to set it on fire. No more house, and trust us, we're going to build you a better one down the road. You'd be without a house. 22 million Americans will be without a house of health care if we do it that way. So, we're going to do this. You're going to hear from our colleagues about the fight we're in. I'm going to say a word about the Senate and then turn it over to a great leader in the House. In the United States Senate, and in the House of Representatives, in the first 10 days of the new Congress, the Republicans began the process of destroying the Affordable Care Act and creating chaos. They laid the groundwork. But they've got a long way to go before they can actually get it done. And it's our job to stop them from getting it done. United States Senate, there are 48 members of the Democratic caucus. We need 51 votes. That means we need 3 Republican senators to explore their conscience and do the right thing.
Right.
All of you have a handout. You have a yellow sheet of paper that identifies all the Republican senators. Here's what we want you to do. We want you to contact your family, your friends, your colleagues in all the states that have Republican senators on that list. And we want you to ask them to contact their senators and tell them to do the right thing, and tell them that they are going to hold their senators accountable at the ballot box if they take away their health care. Can you do that? Because we need action out of this. Now, I'm going to turn this over to a great leader. Before I do that, I want to say on behalf of Senator Ben Cardin that he has been front and center in this fight with all of us who are here today. He's been front and center. He had a previous commitment that it was really important that he keep, but I want you to know he is here with us. He is fighting on the floor. He's fighting in Maryland. We're going to do more rallies as we go. Our great Attorney General, Brian Frost, was going to join us, but his mother took ill. And Nancy Kopp, our treasurer, also had another commitment. But you've got a lot of other folks here who are standing with you to make sure we get the job done.
Thank you.
And the person who has been leading this effort in the House, the person who worked side by side with Nancy Pelosi in collecting the votes in 2010, to make this happen, was a great Marylander, the great representative from this district, a great leader in the state of Maryland, and a terrific leader in the United States of America, our own Steny Hoyer.